Blackstone Audio presents Hemingway's France, Images of the Lost Generation by Winston Conrad. Dedication for Paulette. Preface. My Movable Feast. W. H. Auden once observed that no two people ever read the same book. Likewise, one might declare that no two people ever live in the same Paris, that each of its visitors leaves with unique, indelible impressions of the city. But visitors to Paris and the rest of France also come away with shared feelings. After making 8 trips to Europe, I understood why Ernest Hemingway cherished France in general, and its capital in particular. Once I sampled French food, culture, and traditions, I found myself comparing them, almost always favorably, to their counterparts back home. When it came time to return to the United States from one of my trips to Europe, I dwell somewhat sadly on protagonist Jake Barnes's comment in Hemingway's first novel, The Sun Also Rises. I hated to leave France. Life was so simple in France. Although my time in France didn't yield anything quite like the experiences Hemingway had among his lost generation contemporaries and as a World War II correspondent and self-styled commando, I was lucky enough to see the country from disparate perspectives. On more than one of my 8 trips, I hitchhiked around or simply walked. On another, I stayed in Paris with my great-aunt and her husband, the Vicomte de Bonchamp, in their lavish Avenue Foch apartment. On later visits, I strolled through the Luxembourg Gardens, pushing my young sons around in a stroller. On still other visits, I mixed conventional tourism with a lot of photography and research. As I looked back on them, my journeys seemed to affirm everything about France that Hemingway celebrated in his writing, whether we were drinking Cahors wine, baking in the Provençal sun, betting on horses at the track, viewing masterpieces in museums, or simply gazing at tiled Parisian rooftops from a garret in the 7th arrondissement. This book is my attempt to illustrate Hemingway's attachment to France and its city of light, to connect us with the magic and romance that inspired him to write wonderful stories and great books. W.S.C. Chapter 1. The Literary Scene in Paris. Paris in the 1920s still evokes wonder as one of the most flamboyant and creative periods in modern Western cultural history. Pablo Picasso, Georges Braque.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?